Something really bad's happening right now. I mean, that's about the 15th car. There's some kind of shooter situation, I'll bet you $1 million.
On November 30th, 2021, at around 12:50 p.m., a mass shooting occurred at Oxford High School in the township of Oxford, about 42 miles north of Detroit. 4 students were killed and 7 others were injured. The deceased were identified as 16-year-old Tate Myre, 14-year-old Hana St. Juliana, 17-year-old Madisyn Baldwin, and 17-year-old Justin Shilling. The shooter was identified as then 15-year-old Ethan Crumbley, who surrendered to police at the scene without incident. Investigators quickly uncovered disturbing occurrences involving the Crumbleys that took place in the days before the shooting. Authorities said that on November 26, 2021, Dad, James Crumbley, purchased a 9mm handgun for his son, Ethan, as an early Christmas present. The following day, investigators said Mom, Jennifer Crumbley, took her son to a shooting range as Ethan boasted about the firearm on his Instagram account. On the day before the shooting, a teacher notices Ethan is conducting online searches for ammunition in the middle of class and reports it. School officials notify Ethan's parents about the issue, but they fail to discipline their son, as Jennifer laughs off the incident and texts her son, "LOL, I'm not mad. You have to learn not to get caught." On November 30th, 2021, surveillance footage captures Ethan Crumbley entering a bathroom, exiting a few minutes later while holding a semi-automatic handgun, and opens fire. On December 1st, 2021, authorities charged Ethan Crumbley as an adult for 24 crimes, including murder and terrorism.
All I want is for the people I hurt to just have a final sense of culpability that justice has somewhat been served in any capacity that they can recognize it with. Any sentence that they ask for, I ask that you do impose it on me, because I want them to be happy and I want them to feel secure and safe, and I do not want them to worry another day, because I really am sorry for what I've done, for what I've taken of them. I cannot give it back, but I can try my best in the future to help other people, and that is what I will do.
On December 3rd, 2021, Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald makes an unprecedented announcement charging parents James and Jennifer Crumbley with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter each. However, authorities are unable to locate the Crumbleys, and they learn that they have since fled. A full-scale manhunt ensues as James and Jennifer are arrested the following day and are found hiding in the Detroit art studio with new cell phones and $6,000 cash. On January 24th, 2022, nearly 2 months after the deadly attack, Oxford High School reopens to students and staff. On October 24th, 2022, Ethan Crumbley, who is 16 years old then, pleads guilty to 24 counts and is eventually sentenced to life without the possibility of parole.
As it relates to docket 2022-279506-FC, count 1, terrorism causing death. Sentences of the court is that defendant shall serve life without the possibility of parole, credit for 8 days served. Counts 2 through 5, homicide, first degree, premeditated murder, juvenile defendant. Sentence of the court is that defendant shall serve the rest of his life without the possibility of parole with the Michigan Department of Corrections, credit for 8 days served.
Nearly 4 years after the school shooting, the trial of Jennifer Crumbley begins on January 23rd, 2024, as the prosecution rips into Jennifer for ignoring her son's pleas for help with his mental health issues. Jennifer testifies that she did not believe her son needed therapy for his mental health and instead places the blame on her husband, James, who she has been cheating on with a local fire captain for buying their son the handgun.
With regard to Jennifer Crumbley, it is the sentence of this court, Ms. Crumbley, that you serve 10 to 15 years with the Michigan Department of Corrections You will have credit for 858 days. State costs are $272. There's a crime victims' rights fee of $130. You and your agents may not have any contact with the families of Madisyn Baldwin, Tate Myre, Hana St, Juliana, and Justin Shilling. I will issue another ruling with regard to contact with your son, the shooter. Excuse me. As to defendant James Crumbley, it is the sentence of this court that you serve 10 to 15 years with the Michigan Department of Corrections, that you receive credit for 858 days, that you pay state costs in the matter of $272, that there is a crime victims' rights fee of $130, that you or your agents have no contact with the families of Madisyn Baldwin, Tate Myre, Hana St. Juliana, and Justin Shilling.
Jennifer Crumbley is eventually found guilty in all counts, marking the first time in U.S. history a parent is tried and convicted for a mass shooting committed by their son. James Crumbley has his day in court on March 5th, 2024, nearly a month after his wife's conviction. The court heard harrowing testimony from Oxford High School teacher Molly Darnell, who recalled how she locked eyes with Ethan before he shot her. Like his wife, James Crumbley is also convicted on all counts. During the sentencing on April 9th, James and Jennifer Crumbley publicly apologized to the victims' families. A judge sentences them to 10 to 15 years in prison.
To the waste that took my daughter's life, that name will never come out of my mouth. That life will cease to exist to me, and just like trash, it will be forgotten.
And the thing that stands out to me was what my wife said. She put her head in her hands and it said, "Not my baby boy."
So I will hope, with every bit of hope I have left, that with every passing thought or memory you have about what you've done, you remember my statement and take time to imagine it happening and recognize it in the worst way possible.
I, Riley Franz, am a survivor of gun violence. I, Riley Franz, am a survivor of a terrible epidemic caused by a broken system. But I refuse to be known as a victim at the hands of an individual with no regard for others. His selfishness will not consume my identity. I am so much more than a victim.
Nearly 3 years since the Oxford High tragedy, there have been 8 reported school shootings across the nation. The deadliest occurred on May 24th, 2022 at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas, where 19 students and 2 teachers were killed. On Thursday, President Biden is expected to submit an expanded rule on background checks for gun purchases in an attempt to eliminate a loophole in the 2022 Federal Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which extends background checks for firearm purchasers under the age of 21. The so-called loophole has allowed unlicensed gun dealers to sell firearms without background checks at gun stores, online, and out of their homes. However, the proposal will fall short of President Joe Biden's ultimate goal of universal background checks.